Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome to episode 6 of our Elm Creek Oats and Goats gameplay series. I am the Ultra Farmer. I'm standing here with the horses right now as we've got a bunch of riding to do today to get their health to 100%, their fitness and everything. The horses are getting to a really good value. Geez, it looks like Pepper back there needs a brush or two. Good Lord. But we've got a lot of field work that we got to do today. If you can see behind in the oat field, we have weeds growing through. I'm gonna balance out our nitrogen levels a bit on these fields, and so much more. So let's get right into it. Let's get into episode 6. I also just want to say a big shout out and thank you to everyone who's hit that sub, who's hit that like button, and is getting us closer to our 1,000 sub goal, which is we're getting close to it. Hopefully, if you're watching this video, we've passed it later on, but as of right now, we're getting close. So just shout out to everybody. Thank you very much. I appreciate that a lot. But I'll quit yapping here. Let's get into episode 6. We got a lot of work to do, so let's get to it. Okay, so the first thing that I want to work on right now is I got the weeds dealt with on that oat field over there, but I got to get the weeds dealt with on this field here. So I'm just going to set the GPS so that I can maybe not screw this up while we're chatting here. And I can kind of talk to you about a couple other things. So the horse's value is increasing like really nicely. Groovy and Penelope, it's just hilarious that they got these names. So I'll try to say this with a straight face. But yes, Groovy and Penelope are both pregnant, and so they will. I don't know exactly when they're gonna have their kids, but or their little colts or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Have the baby horses. But yeah, they are both pregnant. So we got 6 horses in the pen right now. We got Salt, Pepper, Crimson, Groovy, Penelope, and Opal. Yes, Opal. How could I forget? And I think Opal is pregnant as well. So eventually we're gonna have to sell. I want to stick around about 8 horses because it's kind of a it's a oh, yeah, I kind of spun around here in the wrong way. It's a bit to keep them all rode each month. It takes a lot of time. So if I have around 8, I think is going to be a good number for me. It's going to be like a manageable number if that makes sense. So whenever the horses, the little ones are born, we're gonna have to sell off probably Salt and Pepper. That's who I want to sell first because they are like the most valuable right now. Both Salt and Pepper are almost at $30,000 in value. Actually, I believe Salt is over 30. Salt was at 31,000, and Pepper was at like 29. Might even have cracked 30. I can't remember exactly. As I go through, I ride and then I brush them and stuff, and their value. It's just a bit of a mess. But I want to sell those horses and kind of make room for the next batch, if that makes sense. Because we bought Groovy last episode. We bought Groovy and Opal last episode. Now I can't remember exactly what Opal's value is right now, but Groovy was at like 10 grand, almost 11,000, and we bought her for 6,800. So just in a month, her value's increased over 4 grand, and so I want to kind of keep doing that. Obviously, I'm not going to sell the horses that are pregnant because I want them to have their offspring and like potentially I'm just interested to see what the offspring's value is going to be right at birth because we could make an extra couple grand right there and again just make room for another set of horses as long as there's good valued ones that are available to be bought, and we'll just kind of keep doing that process because like if we sold Salt and Pepper right now, we'd have about 60. Well, we'd have over 60,000 bucks just from those horses alone, and it really didn't take that long to get their value up to that point. With consistent riding and cleaning, like you can increase their value like 10 to 15 grand in a few months, which is crazy. So that's kind of the goal with everything right now. The goats are just giving her. The goats is basically they're slowly building the herd, and then once the herd kind of gets up more and more and we have more consistent both rams and lambs that are reproducing, that's when we'll start to see more growth within the goats. But it's kind of nice right now that they're just slowly growing in the background. We're getting a bit of goat milk, but really nothing to write home about. It's nothing too crazy. I think there's like 1,000 liters of goat milk in there, which I'm just saving up because I don't really know what we're going to do with it. I don't really have a plan to make any type of goat production facility right now, at least. Could that change? Maybe, but the main focus right now is on the horses, and really trying to get. I really want to get the horses figured out too, like the perfect month to buy horses, the perfect month to sell horses, exactly how long it takes to get their value from that 5 to 6 to 7 thousand dollar buy marker up to that like 30 and hopefully in the future potentially like $40,000 sell points. Is kind of the goal right now, and that's just what I'm focused on. I'm obviously working to get these fields and like the pH levels and all of that balanced right out. Like if we go through seed rates, our yields are getting better. They really are. They're getting better. Not so much on our grass field, but through our oats fields, our yields have slightly increased. We like our environmental score was at an 87. It is at an 88. I know that's 1 point, but the steps that we're taking to get that up is good. Let me go over to our nitrogen. Nitrogen has increased on this field. It has a bit on both of these fields, even through planting the cover crop. It's not great, but it's all right. It's all right. pH levels are good. I'm gonna go hook onto our spreader and try and spread some nitrogen across these fields as well, just to do it since we've got our first stages growth on. So let's just run over. I want to use this tractor because that little spreader, the little fertilizer spreader, is quite heavy when it's got a full tank or a semi-full tank on it. I probably don't have to fill this tank all the way up, to be honest, but it also doesn't really matter. I just fill it up and actually let's just put that in. Let's put that in. I'll see if a worker can go and spread some fertilizer on these fields. There are no contracts up. I mean, it's springtime. The only contracts we could potentially get are some sowing contracts, but I don't really want to go mess with that. We don't really have the biggest planter. It's not really going to be worth it, but there's nothing that's popped up through the stores at all. Um, I'll keep watching. It's mostly a fall thing. Contracts come for us in the fall because we have a 6 meter set of cultivators, a 6 meter set of plows, and that's like kind of our, I would say our best bet for a contract. We could potentially get a contract for harvesting if there is a grain one that we could go do somewhere. That would be great, but it's not really the main focus. My main focus is going to be, I'll just go into the build mode because it might be a little bit easier to see, is to eventually purchase these two fields so that I can move most of our farming out into these fields. Ideally, I want to get these three and then, into the future, get all five of these and then have our main farm area, more stables for the horses, maybe another goat pen, and a riding arena for the horses, just all set up for, like, we'll say like infrastructure and the animals, and then all of our fields out here will be grass and oats to feed the animals, and then we can sell the crops off for some extra profit. Again, I don't really have any specific plans to make a production facility for the oats or the dairy. It could change, but I don't know. It's maybe right now, no, but maybe in the future, if we get to a point where it seems like that makes sense, we will, or if we have the room for it, we will. But for right now, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it as the farming isn't really the most important thing. It's going to be the animals and the management of the animals. But as always, let's just run over. Let's jump back into first person here. While we're getting some nitrogen, some fertilizer on that field, let's check in on the goats. We'll go see if there's any ones in here that we can pick up. No, all that quality is just too low. I mean, that one's all right. Let's get that one while we're in here. Why not? But yeah, that's the plan as of right now. We got to kind of get through the summer. We're going to be riding the horses. I eventually want to sell the horse, Salt and Pepper, and kind of get them. Let's just go check the value of everyone right now. So we got our 6 horses. Yeah, like Penelope. Penelope's at 10 grand. All the horse colors seem to be all messed up here. Let's go into this unit. Yeah, we got Salt at 30, Pepper's at 28. Groovy's at 11. We just bought this horse for 6,800. That's crazy. And Opal we paid around 4 grand for. So we're doing quite good. Crimson's a slow process here, but Crimson was young. When we got Crimson, it was very, very young. So still can't produce. Once Crimson hits 22 months, then the value will increase a bit more. Um, Penelope's pregnant. Once Penelope has the kid, again, the value will go up a bit more. But salt and pepper are really our golden childs, if you will, right now. Especially salt. Salt is just unreal. Let's check the value. Yeah, Crimson not as high. Penelope very high. Pepper, yeah, extremely high. Groovy will make us a ton of cash in the future, and probably even Opal. Crimson, part of me wants to sell Crimson, to be honest, but I'll wait till Crimson gets to 22 months, and maybe then we'll try and sell Crimson and get something different. Not too sure. Okay, I'm gonna kind of get the nitrogen, or so, yeah, get the nitrogen dealt with on these fields, and I'll bring you back throughout the summer as we kind of progress through, different chores around the farm, riding the animals and stuff, and hopefully some contracts pop through that we can go make a little bit of extra cash from. All right, so just before we kind of get going through the summer too much here, I decided I was going to cut our grass field and get a couple bales of hay off it, because why not? Even though we're kind of ahead on bales a little bit, but I figured might as well keep cutting that grass and get stocked right, excuse me, sorry, get stocked right up. And I also decided to put in a bale storage kind of facility right here. So I parked our trailer in the barn back over there, and I put down this little bale storage thing so we can just drop the bales off here and it'll stack them in, as you can see. Pretty simple. So yeah, I just got done finishing up doing the baling on this field. I'm just going to spin around here and grab a couple of these bales. And, then I'm going to do my normal kind of go through, make sure this field's good to go. I'll fertilize it if I got to. I'll check the pH and stuff and see if there's anything we can do to kind of help that out. All the fields are looking pretty good from that standpoint, at least. I should be able to just go right, run into a... Is that going to just drop it? There we go. Okay, perfect. I got one more out there. Let's go grab that. Now, also, a contract had popped up. A hoeing contract had popped up. Actually, or yeah, we'll just grab this bale real quick, and then I'll show you this contract that popped up that I think I'm gonna go do, because it's like 6 grand. Oh my god, how did I lose that bale? Jeez. Alright, let's try this again here. Let's try this again. There we go. I think there we go. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, I seen a contract that's like for like 6 grand to go do some hoeing on a field, and I thought, might as well go do that, because usually the contracts that we get are just cultivating and plowing, like we kind of talked about. So a hoeing one would be not too bad. It's pretty easy to kind of do. I could honestly set a worker to go do it, which I might do. And we could send mom and dad some more cash, because I do got to keep sending them cash. We still owe them 40 grand. So yeah, I think I'm probably gonna go. Let's just go look at these contracts real quick. Where is it? Oh no, or did I accept it? No, it must have went away. Oh no. Well, we're too slow. We were too slow. I should have just accepted it. Oh, what a dummy. Okay, well, that answers that. I guess we're not going to do that, which is fine. Yeah, it's totally fine. There'll be more contracts that pop up, but dang, that would have been a relatively like easy one to go do. Shoot. Oh well. Next time I will just yeah, I'll just accept it. I'll accept my fate. Okay, let's pull this through. There we go. Drop that off. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to do a little field work on that grass field. It's going to be nothing really that you're going to miss out on. I'm just going to run across it with potentially the lime spreader, maybe the fertilizer, just a little bit. It won't really take much. It won't take much, but I'm going to just do it just to keep on top of things. I think I have fertilizer in this unit right now. Yeah, that's what I got. Okay, I'm just going to go kind of do a little bit of this field prep. And like I said, I'll bring you back as the summer progresses and we get closer to, while we'll either be harvesting this field again, getting a couple more bales, or we will be getting close to harvest our oats. All right, we are back here. It is May, and even though we missed out on that one hoeing contract, a couple have popped up. So I'm going to go get connected to our hoeing unit. And we're going to travel around and do some hoeing contracts. We also got to ride the horses and kind of get all their health and stuff, you know what I mean, just tip top. But I want to get some workers doing some contracts for us while that's happening. Now there's a hoeing contract that's like really close to the farm here. It's actually on field 5, which is just south of the farm. Yes, so there's this hoeing contract here for 2,200 bucks. We're going to accept that. There's another one that's just so field 5 is like kind of right over here, and then 53. I think we've even went down and done work on this field before, but I'm going to accept that one as well. Accept that contract, yes. And we had a plowing one. I seen a plowing, and there's a fertilizing one. The fertilizing one is like right at the neighbors. So we might dip over and do that for an extra, 12, 1,300 bucks. And then we have a plowing contract. It's kind of far. It's kind of up out of the way. I don't know if I feel like going up there to do that. What's this? There's grass that they need. And we could probably almost supply that. But I'm going to do both the hoeing contracts for sure. And we could potentially go do a fertilizing contract. But I'm going to get this tractor set off to field number 5 right now and get a worker doing that. And then we're going to come back over and do some of our rounds. We'll do a couple laps with the horses. For sure with salt and pepper because I want to see what kind of value I can get them up to. I wonder if we can get them up to around, that 40 ground marker. Who knows? Okay, so we got a worker going there. I'm going to shut this one off. Another thing I want to do is jump in to see the goats. We've had one little baby goat pop through because we were at 20. No, we bought another one. Never mind. We might have bought another one. Let's go down. Let's see. Geez, this one's 1,300 bucks. 46 months. Whoa, extremely high. 11 months. I think we should get that one. Oh, there's some good value goats in here. Even that one's pretty good. What about the rams? Really good. I mean, all of these are really good. What would we be spending there? 5 grand? Let's just do it. Let's get some good goats going in there. We got to keep getting the goats up. 27 goats, not too bad. All right, let's go check on the horses. That's what we got to do next here. Okay, what do we got here? Penelope, she's still pregnant. Pepper. Let's go take Pepper for a spin. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Watch it, Penelope. We don't want to have a showdown here. Horse fights. All right. This canola field right here is looking pretty good. I still really want to buy this field. I'm hoping, I mean, I guess we could buy it soon. I might buy it when it's ready to harvest. We could be a little cheeky like that when it's ready to harvest, and we could sell off the canola, which might be a good plan. All right, it's going to this point. Oh yeah, we got our worker out there. We'll do a flyby. See how everything's going. But yeah, I'm still trying to plan the perfect time to sell both salt and pepper, which I just don't know. I don't know if there is going to be a good time to do it. I think no matter what, I'll probably regret it a little bit because I don't know exactly the max value that we can get these horses to. Yeah, I don't know. It's too hard to tell right now, but I'm just going to kind of keep doing what we've been doing as making sure they get rode, making sure they're clean. They're obviously fed really well, and we're gonna have more oats and stuff and hay. But the horses and the goats don't really go through that much food. Like it's way different than I'm just so used to the pigs because we did the pig farming gameplay series. Which if you guys for some reason you're new to the channel and you didn't watch that series, it's called the Hard Times Hog Farm, and we start 300K in debt with an old hog farm, and we try to dig ourselves out and build an empire from it, which we succeed in doing. But it's a bit of a struggle, and the biggest thing that we struggle with in that series is trying to keep up with feeding the pigs. We had to buy so much pig food, it's unbelievable. But yeah, trying to feed those pigs was crazy. And this series is like the complete opposite. Like there's so much food for these animals. We don't have to worry about feeding them at all. But it's just a different grind because we have to make sure they're road. Okay, so like this is what I'm saying. Like I think Pepper's like at his max right now. 100% riding, 100% fitness, 100% cleanliness, even though it doesn't really look like it, Pep. Pappy, you need to clean out your pepper shaker. Good Lord, buddy. Mix in a shower. Um, I wonder if that's the I wonder if that's the most value that I could get them to. Okay, we gotta save the game here. 'Cause sometimes when I go to get on a horse, it just everything jams out. Okay, this. Well, we'll still take Crimson for a spin. Maybe we should go the other way. We always go the same way. Let's go the other way. Yeah, maybe what we should do is just sell salt and pepper. It'd be nice, like what I was kind of hoping is like maybe I could get them to like 40 to 50 grand in value, sell them, and then I would be able to buy both those fields because the one field's 49 grand and the other's 56,000. I really just want to own this whole kind of side of the map out here and have these fields that we can farm and or just build different horse pastures or goat barns or whatever. I just want to have all this space out here and then we can really just we can do whatever we want with it, which would be nice. It would be pretty cool. But also in the same breath, it's not like we need a whole bunch of fields because we're struggling to feed the animals. I just want the land because it could be extra money, and then also it gives us options to build different things or just kind of develop different areas of the farm, which would be exciting. But because if I get more horse pastures, I could get more horses, which I need to hire. I wish I could hire workers. I gotta hire more workers to ride the horses to keep all their health up. Well, their health will be up, but I don't know if their value will be as maxed out as they could be, which is obviously the goal because that's going to be the main way that we make money is through horses. So I don't know. We'll just see. I've said this a bunch, but I just have tons of like questions that I don't have the answers to just yet, and I'm like constantly trying to plan and be efficient, but there's yeah until I answer some of those questions. And Crimson's overall value is just good. So I don't know, it might be worth selling Crimson once I get Crimson to 100% fitness. Because then again, she'd be like 100. Um, like, did Salt run away? It says we have 6 horses. Like, what's Salt doing? Can't even ride that one. We already rode Crimson. Yeah, the animals are like a little bit jammed out. Oh well. Okay, let's take this one for a spin. Take it for a gallop. Maybe we'll go somewhere different. Let's open the menu so I can see what the riding percentage is at. Let's go check out different farms over here. This is a nice area over here. I really like it. This field's all right. These fields over here are pretty good. Pretty good. One day we'll ride up to the cave and I can show you guys the cave. If you weren't aware of it, there is a cave in this game, or on this map. If you are aware of it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, there's a cave. There's also a corn maze, which is kind of a bit out of the way, but these are bigger fields over here. But yeah, if you kind of go over the mountains in this direction, you'll get up to there's like a big kind of like quarry that you jump down into, and there's a cave. It's kind of neat. There's probably even some collectibles up there that we could go get. Um, right up in here, you can get into the cave, which is pretty neat. Pretty neat. This is one of my favorite maps. I really like this map. Mainly because it's just got a little bit of nostalgia to it from FS22. If any of you guys played that game, this was like kind of like the Riverbend Springs map, if you will. Kind of one of the main 3 starting maps that you could go on. And yeah, this is where I played a lot of this game. Like this is where I learned a lot of how to play this game was on this map. So it's pretty exciting to come back. I'm glad they brought it back for this one. More than anything, though, I really can't wait for if No Man's Land comes out. I've said it a million times, so if you've heard it before, I apologize, but that is definitely my favorite map. And I know there's other ones that are similar, but just something about No Man's Land. It's awesome. Oh, those guys got a basketball hoop. On the farm that I built on No Man's Land, we had a basketball hoop on the side of the barn. And I would shoot hoops before each big harvest. We'd go and we'd shoot some hoops before it all went down. Can I get in? Yeah, it won't let me in there. Kind of doesn't let me through here. There we go. Yep, Penelope's doing pretty good. Pretty good. I don't know where Salt is, though. Hiding from us. Alright, let's dip over and see how this worker's doing. Looks like they're getting dangerously close, 70%. Got like another up down here, and then be working on headlands. This will be done pretty quick. And then head over to field 53. We got more than enough fuel, so we should be good to go. I don't know if we'll go do that plowing contract. I don't know if it's worth going up there. You know what? Let's go up there, and I'll show you guys the cave. We'll go start that contract, and I'll go up there and I'll show you the cave while we're up there. I'll maybe accept it before I. Okay, field 74. Let's grab the plows. We'll go up there and I'll show you the cave, and we'll go look and we'll see if there's any collectibles in there that we can get. And yeah, there's gotta be. I'm sure there's collectibles on this map. Oh no, that's right. There's enough. There's a bit of growth on these fields. I can't cut the corners like I was on the first growth stage because of the crop destruction. Okay, let's fold this up. Hopefully when we come back, Peppers or Salt's back around. I wonder where Salt is. Hide note in the barn. Okay, I wonder if I can sneak through over here and just make it a little quicker to get up there. Maybe. Let's open up the map here and just see. Yeah, this should be a little bit faster for us to jump up there. And like I said, we'll go check out the cave. The cave's kind of cool. Also, too, I've said it, a few times, but if you guys haven't done so already, make sure and check out the link in the description for our Discord server. There's a bunch of stuff you can go in there to do. I put different tips and stuff. I've got a list of mods that I use under mod reviews. I've got like a list of the mods that I use on like every single gameplay series. So if you're interested in checking it out, I don't know if exactly if all of those mods are crossplay. I know a bunch of them aren't, but I don't know specifically which ones are or are not. But you can go through, check the list, and there's a bunch on there. There's a bunch of other people that post a whole bunch of helpful stuff just in the general chat. There's always breakdowns. Brucey's always got a bunch of breakdowns in there that you guys can go check out. And I've got a section for tutorials and video ideas. So if there's any type of specific tutorial or something that you would like me to cover or touch on, you can make suggestions in there, and I check it quite often. And yeah, I can kind of do some tutorials on whatever's relevant. There are some behind the scenes stuff that you get access to where I'll let you know when new gameplay series are going to come out, dates and times. People in the Discord will hear about it first. This looks like our field. Okay, let's set a worker to do this and let's jump out. And we will head up to the cave. And we'll drop down in there and I'll show you guys. Because it's pretty cool. There's 2 entrances in there too, as well. See if I can remember. See if I can remember this. Yeah, this is definitely a cool part. All right, what's this sign say? Caves. Match window. Trickle cave, upper entrance. Now, oh my god, we just fell off a cliff. There's kind of like a, I don't want to say a secret entrance. Raven loop. I don't want to fall down in there. All right, we'll go this way. We'll go this way. Yeah, there's this one spot. It's kind of tricky to get into. Hopefully we'll be able to find it. But it's pretty cool down in here. Okay, where is it? Like, there's the main one that you can get into. We'll do some puddle jumping over here. Someone knocked that sign down? Good lord. Alright, down we go. Is this a collectible? Yep, I knew it. I knew it. I knew there'd be some. 5 grand for that? Nice. Good thing we came down here. I didn't know that. I didn't know you could get money for them. All right, we got to keep our eyes peeled then. Okay, where is it? It's right here, I think. Yeah, this is it. This is like a secret entrance to it. We'll end up popping out of there, which I'll show you. But because like this is the main way in down in here, and that's like the little secret entrance right there. Nice, we made 5 grand. Hopefully, there's more kicking around here. This would be a good little adventure that we're on. What's that? That's nothing. Okay. All right, we gotta check every nook and cranny in here. See, what's this? 108 more to go. We got another 5 grand. Okay. Can we climb this ladder? Oh my god. Okay, well. We gotta be on the lookout. There's 108 more. Jeez, we could make some good money just finding collectibles. What was a golden apple, right? Oh, there's another one. Solid gold. Nice. Can't get in there. I'm already crouched down, so I'll stand back up. Looks like there's another one over here. Man, I had no idea that I could actually get money for these collectibles. That's awesome. If it lets me grab it. There we go. Okay, then we can come down in here. We gotta just double check. I'm not missing nothing anywhere. There's 106 more. Bet you there's one in the corn maze. Bet you there's one in the corn maze. Stand up. Let's jump through here. Geez, this was definitely worth it. Okay, and this is where we'll pop out. This is where I just showed you. Yeah, that's the second entrance there. Okay, awesome. Not a bad trip. Not a bad trip out to the cave. Jeez, it makes me want to explore more around here. We'll take one of the horses out here one time. We'll ride around and we'll go through the corn maze and stuff. Maybe in next episode. No, we'll do the corn maze in the fall. Corn maze feels like what you should be doing in the fall, like around Halloween or something like that. That's what I would say is you should be going through a corn maze. So that's what we'll do. Maybe after we harvest the oats or something like that, we'll go through and go check out the corn maze. I'm gonna go up these steps though, just make sure we didn't miss nothing. Nice though. What a good trip to the cave. But there's 100 and some more of those golden apples that we gotta find. That's awesome. Let's check in here. No? What is this? An outhouse? What's up here? I'm kind of like in the map right now. All right, yeah. Okay. Oh god. We got to get out of here. We've zigged where we should have zagged. Okay, let's tab back over to one of these tractors. This plow is going good here. I bet you this weeding contract hoeing, this one is done. Okay. So we got to head over to field 53. I'm just going to go work on these contracts, and like I said, I'll kind of bring you guys back, as the summer progresses. If there's something in June I want to bring you into, I will. Yeah, we'll just kind of keep plugging through. All right, crew, we are back here. It is July, and we've got some fields that need to be harvested. Our oat fields are ready to go. Also, our grass field, we could cut and get some bales off this. I'm not going to focus on the grass too much. I do want to get our oat fields, I want to get them harvested and good to go. But there's a couple things that I want to do just before we get into that. As always, I want to go jump into the goat barn here and just see if there's... Look at all the goats we got going in here. Unreal. Let's just go... Will it tell us? I was hoping it would tell us how much milk we got. If I come into my time-saving stock check... Okay, so we got like 2,000... Or no, we got 1,200 meters of goat milk. Some of this stuff we can't sell. We got some hay. Nice. 50 bucks worth of hay. Is that what's going on? Or value, never mind. 1,100 bucks. Okay, 3 grand worth of that. We have some oats, 127 liters. That's right. That's all we had left from last. That's right. Okay. I want to check the goats and see if any good ones have popped up. Emma. Whoa, that's a really good one. Extremely high, extremely high, extremely good. Very, yes, would definitely buy that goat. Wait, how age 11 months? That's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Um, yeah, I think we just buy the selected one there. So there's a couple things that I want to do. I got all those contracts done. I accepted all the cash for that. I think I'm gonna sell off some of the horses. Let's go over to. I'm just jumping fences here, aren't I? Let's go into here. So I got Crims is like good to go. That's not the one we want. Crimson. I think we're gonna sell Crimson just because like Crimson's young, but like the just the overall, yeah, like I think I'm just gonna sell Crim and call that a day. So let's sell Crimson. And there's a little bit of a delivery fee. Penelope we can't sell because Penelope is preggers. And same with, let me get into, where did it show me this? Actually, I think I had to go like this. Yes, this is the one. Sorry, so yeah, Opal's pregnant. Is Groovy pregnant? Groovy is not. No, 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 no. Okay, so I think we're gonna sell Groovy as well because we bought Groovy for 6,800 bucks. We've already almost doubled our value with the grooves, and yeah, Groovy. That's right, is a stallion. So there's no way Groovy could be pregnant. But yes, Opal is pregnant. So we'll just hold on to Opal till the little one's born. Pepper is at 100%. Pepper's value is starting to drop, and same with Salt. I don't really know why. So I think I'm going to sell both these two. And I'm just gonna keep note that around 40 months, because like I had Salt at over 31, like she was at he was at 31,000, and now it's starting to drop. So I don't know if 42 months, if like around that 4 year mark they start to drop off. I don't know. But the same thing is happening with Pepper. I had Pepper at like 28, 29,000, and now at a full 100% of everything, fitness, riding, cleanliness, still down. I don't really know unless it has something to do with the food. Unless I have to dump more oats in there, and that would kind of like bring the values up. Maybe let's wait. Maybe let's wait and see if I can see if that'll change because we're gonna harvest the oats here and that's gonna work. But another thing that I want to do, I think what I'm just gonna do is pull the trigger on this field. I think we're just gonna buy this field. Oh, not that field, sorry. Like 140 grand. What happened there? I think we'll buy this one. It's 56,000. I could get this one. It's 49. We will get this one eventually, but I think right now I'm going to buy this field. It's got canola on it that's ready to harvest, which is a little cheeky, but you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. I think we're going to buy this field. And I was going to say it kind of jammed out there for a second. Because once we sell Salt and Pepper, we'll be able to get this field as well. And that's kind of my plan. And then obviously after that, we got to raise up a couple more horses, and then we get this. And once we get fields 2, 3, and 4, then we're gonna be rocking. We're gonna be really rocking. 23, 20. We'll have 2, 2, 3, and 4. So let's get our combine out, and we'll get the headers out as well. Feels like it's been a second since we've been in this. Since we've been in this combine. It definitely has been. And I think what we'll go do first is go get a worker kind of going on maybe the canola field. Yeah, maybe the canola field. What's Danny doing? Danny, what are you doing, bud? Watch out! Danny's just fearless when it comes to the combine. Oh, let's open this back up. I left this thing wide open? Jeez, that's not good. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking we'll head off and go get the canola field done first. And then that way, once that canola field's done and the oat fields are being harvested, we can kind of work and see what we're working with. Because we're going to have to send off to get soil samples done on... Oh, we're not going to go this way. We're going to go the other way. We got to send off to get soil samples and stuff done for that new canola field. And then we're going to have to go out. There's going to be a bunch of work that we got to do trying to balance out pH levels, all that stuff. I'm going to want to plant cover crop on this in the fall as well, because, since we make so much money from our government subsidies. But I want to plant some cover crops so that we can get the nitrogen going on this field, just help out a little bit and kind of all that stuff. Let's go check contracts while we're here. Baling. So we could do square bales, but it's kind of far away to go for 1,100 bucks, so I don't think we'll do that. Fertilizing. We could. We could. I don't know. Harvesting. This is an interesting one. Harvesting oats all the only thing is this field's far away. And we don't have a trailer to put the combine on. I wish we had a trailer to do that because then I could drag it up there even with the headers on the combine. But this is like a far way to drive up there with the combine. The thing though is you get extra oats that we could keep and we could dump into the barn. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna mess with any of those contracts. And if I come into the store, I mean, there's this trailer for sale. 16 grand. No, I'm not gonna waste it. No, maybe in the future this would be a good trailer to have. No, this is just unnecessary, and I don't know where we're gonna park it. And 16 grand is a good deal. No, we're not gonna buy it. I don't wanna. I don't wanna waste 16 grand on that. Not right now. Well, maybe in the future that's something we could get, but I want to save the money for the fields, which is more important to me. And because if we can get together some more money through contracts and stuff through the fall, we obviously have to pay back mom and dad a little bit, but I want to. Can I just go into the map here? I think I want to build some sort of a secondary horse pasture in here if we can. If we can. There's like lots of things that I want to do, and I want to do it all at once, but we just don't got the cash right now. So I'll get these fields worked, get these prepped for next year so I can get oats going on everything. I won't mess with that small field just yet. Like, I'm not going to mess with anything here just yet. Next year it'll just be oats, oats, oats. I might even swap and put this as an oat field and then maybe do grass out here. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It doesn't really matter. Um, it doesn't really matter, but this field's kind of annoying to get windrowed, and it's kind of small to be honest. You get like one or two bales off it. I would rather have, maybe in the future like this field as bales. I don't know how fast we could get to 60 grand, but if I could have, let's just say, if I don't take this one out, if it's oats, 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 grass field, that would be pretty ideal. And then we'll just keep grinding with horses. Once we can get a secondary pasture in here for horses and we can make enough money, then we'll get this field, then we'll get this field. And I think that'll probably be the main brunt of our empire that we like build. Maybe, unless it gets going really good and we kind of transform this area right here into kind of more either either barns and stuff or more pasture. One of these areas I want to turn into a riding arena, and then maybe here some other shops and stuff. If we can house more equipment, then we might get over to start doing some of these fields with oats as well. Um, it's just too hard to tell right now. But like, yeah, main thing, I want to get this field, which we did. We'll keep grinding. We got to get this field as soon as we sell salt and pepper. Keep grinding. Get this field. A Groovy's probably going to be a good part that gets us to buy this one. Once Groovy has a kid, we'll sell her, and once Penelope pops, we'll sell her as well. Those small little horses, like if I have another pasture in there, I can kind of raise them separately just to keep track of like which one's which. And yeah, that's my plan. That's my long-winded plan that's probably going to change a million times, but if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? Someone said that. So I'm going to just let this kind of harvest progress a little bit more. I'll get the canola done, and then I'll bring you back once the oats are starting. And once the oats are kind of starting, then we can come over to this field and we'll start doing some messing around. I bet you I'm just going to jump off right now. I'm thinking no matter what, we're going to plow this field. Um, no, we're not going to plow this field. We're going to wait. We're just going to cultivate it because the store still said they'll let us plow or rent that stone picker one time for us. They'll let us do it for free if we take it for an afternoon. We obviously have to dispose of the stones, but they'll let us take it. So I want to wait till we have like all of our fields, like say this one and this sunflower field in front of us. Once we're gonna do that, I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna plow everything, and that way all the fields are plowed, all the stones are picked up, and then we can kind of go from there. If we have to buy a stone picker in the future, we will. But yeah, since the guys at the store said they'd let us borrow it for one afternoon, that's pretty awesome of them. So yeah, I'll bring you back once we start harvesting oats. Okay, we got our canola harvest finished, and the oats is going behind, as you can see, working on that small field. So I'm just dumping the canola in our silos right now. There wasn't much. I think I just read it was like 2,600 liters or something. So like nothing really to write home about, if I'm being completely honest. But it something we could sell off later on, or I don't really know. I have no plans for what we're going to do with that canola other than maybe one day take it up to farmer's market. Let's go take a look and see. Um, yeah, 2,600 liters, 1,300 bucks. Nice. Well, we'll need that 1,300 bucks for something. One day, something we'll need 1,300 bucks for, and we'll be like, we got the canola. We have the canola, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I've got the cultivators on this tractor, and we're going to head over and get this field cultivated. And maybe just before we do that, let's go in and let's just check the map and just see what we're working with this field. Soil, let's go over to precision farming. Okay, so we need to purchase some soil information. It's going to cost us 800 bucks. All right, it is all loamy sand. Now the tram lines, I'm going to take off the tram lines. Tram line width, direction automatic, just because I don't want them on right now. Let's go look at a few things. Let's look at the pH level. Okay. So we're right around the 5 mark, 5 to 6 mark. Okay, that's not too bad. Nitrogen. Jeez, okay. Not super good, but we can work with that. We can definitely get the nitrogen up. That's not that big a deal. And the pH, yeah, yield is not looking great. Okay. Okay, all really not that bad. We can fix this. We can fix this relatively quickly. So let's first start with cultivating this field. I'm going to get a worker to cultivate this field, and then we will deal with kind of once the cultivation is done, I'm going to hook the spreader onto the back of this tractor. Just this one holds it a little bit better once it's full of, once it's full of fertilizer and lime and stuff like that. And I'll mess around and I'll get this thing tuned up just a little bit better. Texture's a little bit, that must be from where the tram lines would have been. Yep, okay, that makes sense. Let's just jump over to this unit. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take the worker off, and we can just finish it, because by the time the worker does some Austin Power 3-point turns, I mean, like, this field's so small that like it's kind of not worth the time and effort to do it. Though I don't want to turn my nose up at it, but I think this space over here will just be so much better used with some sort of horse pasture, is what I'm thinking. But I want to, yeah, I just want to make sure we're ready for that before we kind of mess with this area over here. Plus, I kind of want to think about it a little bit more too, with trying to future-proof for the goats as well, because that goat barn and kind of like pasture that we have there, like the meadow, is we're getting full as is. Like, we would probably be able to fit like 50 goats in that area, quote unquote comfortably, which we do have a lot more kind of space all on the edge of our farm, like where the trees are. The only thing is we just don't own the land on the other side left, so yet. So that's going to kind of cause us to like, it'll just cause some issues of like how far we can put our fences and stuff. But once we own that land, then we have a little bit more control, and we can kind of manipulate that and blah blah blah. You know what I'm trying to say. So, long story long, I just need to make more money, and we need to buy those fields, and then we don't have to worry about that. That's the long story long right there. Okay, so I'm going to spin up here, and I'm going to set a worker. to get this field done. And then we're just going to kind of jump over, and I'm going to go look at that field that we just harvested. And I'm just going to see, as we walk through it, what it's telling us for pH and nitrogen levels. Okay, so nitrogen bad. Okay. Nitrogen bad. pH is basically the same. Nitrogen bad. Okay. Yeah, we just got a bunch of field prep and stuff that we got to do now. There's really no two ways about it. Let's go take a look at how this cultivator's doing. Yeah, just kind of getting the up downs done. And then they'll be starting on the headlands. Okay, perfect. Well, what I think we're going to end up doing is we'll probably end the episode there. And we will pick up, on the next episode with the rest of this field prep. That's going to be a lot of what episode 7 is we got to get all these fields set and kind of ready to go for the fall. I want to get the cultivation done. I want to get the nitrogen and the pH balanced on these fields. And I want to get cover crop planted on the fields as well, because we might as well plant them through the winter. It doesn't really, I mean, the subsidies is just a little bit extra cash, which we definitely don't do it for, but if it can add nitrogen and everything to the fields, then why not? We might as well be doing something through the winter with them. I think, at least. I don't think there's any harm in it. And then I'm going to put a bunch of oats into the horse barn, and hopefully that changes their value. I'm hoping that will work to increase their value. And maybe they're just eating hay and root crop right now. I'm not too sure. I'm not 100%. I'm going to test that out just a little bit and kind of get to the bottom of it. Now, speaking of root crop, what I'm going to have to do is put down a greenhouse. So I gotta kind of find a spot around the farm. I don't know exactly where, but I'm gonna have to put a greenhouse down for us. And I mean, we could put it right just here for now, which we might end up moving it in the future. I don't really know. I'm gonna kind of think about it a little bit and see, maybe I could do it here somewhere. Maybe I could cut down that tree and do it here somewhere. That's just stuff I'm going to think about and see if I can grow some carrots for us in greenhouse, and then that way we'll have that to feed to the horses as well. It's kind of my plan. So there'll be lots going on next episode, and like I said, we'll end this on here. So make sure and tune into next episode so we can kind of see how everything goes a little bit better, see how much oats we get off these fields, and we're going to sell salt and pepper right away as soon as we can get their value back up around 30 grand. And then we will be buying the sunflower field here. That is the plan, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to everyone who's hit that sub and that like button, who leaves me a comment. Thank you to everyone who's joined the Discord server. I really appreciate all that stuff. Can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Having lots of fun making these series for you guys. I have some cool ideas for series after this, but also, the Hard Times Hog Farm is coming to an end. I've got episodes 29 and 30 recorded. They will be posted out soon. I'm going to do them on back-to-back days, so you'll be able to get 29 and our finale series, or our finale episode 30. And then the supercut will be coming out for that sometime next week. Depending when you're watching this, it could be way in the future, and it might already be out. But that's kind of my rough plan with everything. So, with that, I'll quit yapping. I'll get off this video. Thank you guys again. I hope you have a good afternoon, morning, evening, whenever it is that you watch this episode. And I'll see you guys on the next one.